Hi, everyone. We're live here in the Weather Center alongside Griffin Hardy and Perella Lewis. We're watching a tornado warning that was just issued.
The National Weather Service in Greenville-Spartanburg has issued a tornado warning for northwestern Lawrence County in upstate South Carolina, southeastern Greenville County in upstate South Carolina, east central Anderson County in upstate South Carolina, northeastern Abbeville County in upstate South Carolina, until 2:15 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. At 1:50 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located 4 miles southeast of Anderson or near Biltmore Park, moving east at 55 miles per hour. Hazard, tornado and half-dollar-size hail. Source, radar indicated rotation. Impact, flying debris will be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be damaged or destroyed. Damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles will occur. Tree damage is likely. This dangerous storm will be near Belton around 2 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Other locations impacted by this dangerous thunderstorm include Fort Shoals, Princeton, Hickory Cavern, and Broadway Lake. Take cover now. Move to a basement or an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Avoid windows. If you are outdoors, in a mobile home, or in a vehicle, move to the closest substantial shelter and protect yourself from flying debris. Please report damaging winds, hail, or flooding to the National Weather Service by calling toll-free 1-800-267-8101 or by posting on our Facebook page or tweet it using hashtag NWSGSP. Your message should describe the event and the specific location where it occurred. Repeating, a tornado warning has been issued until 2:15 a.m. Eastern.
In Anderson County, northern Abbeville County, as this rolls on through Dorothy Trail, Jeffrey Drive, 252s. We're kind of pushing east on this, watching it very closely in these areas. Highway 178 under the gun right now for this threat over northern and eastern Anderson County. So pushing this toward Belton and Honeypath. Let's get in a close track right here. This would give you a good idea of these communities through Campbell, Belton, Honeypath over toward Tony Creek. So Patrick's Psychiatric Hospital near the Belton Elementary School crossroads right there. And then you go up toward Belton Honeypath High School at about 208. So all these areas having the risk for this rotation moving up. And the beauty with Live Super Doppler 4 is we get data instantly. So seconds matter in these type situations. And in this case, we've got some pronounced rotation right here going toward our radar site and then away from our radar site. This is moving right toward Belton. So you're looking instantly at where this storm is. We're able to give you that here as this rolls on through. So an instant look at where that rotation lies. Now it's over Belton Honeypath. It was over downtown Anderson. This is moving very quickly. We're talking, as a crow flies, 50, was it Griffin? East at 55 miles per hour. We've seen these storms grow in speed from 40 miles per hour to 45 to 50 to now 55 miles per hour. So Belton Honeypath needed to be in your safe place right here as this cell is the concerning one. And Griffin, we got a look here that's kind of showing us right in here that rotation has tightened up. This warning, it goes until 2:15, so a clear sign that this line was pushing east. What we noticed was this one was pushing east. At the same time, you have this activity coming down from the north, and this has created somewhat of a little spin in the atmosphere right here that lies right over Belton. And this is a concerning look to our radar, and we give you that look as it's pushing east. So a tornado warning exists if you're tuning in right now on air and online. Get to your safe place. Take your phone with you. Get to a safe place and into an interior part of your home. A good place would be under a staircase if you have that option. A bathroom's always a good option. Hallways, just put as many walls between you and the outdoors as possible. High Point next on the list. That'd be at about 158. Then Princeton at about 208. So that would cross it into Abbeville, Lawrence County. And this is going to graze the extreme southern parts of Greenville County. So hey, you see Greenville County's under a warning. You're thinking Greenville downtown. No, it's way farther south than that. And honestly, this is probably going to go right on the Greenville-Lawrence County line. So downtown Greenville, it's rocking and rolling through Five Forks, Woodruff Road, Roper Mountain Road. Whew, it is wild right now. Lots of lightning, frequent lightning. We're talking lightning every couple of seconds here. But the bulk of the rotation, the strongest wind is located right now just south of downtown, just south of Simpsonville. So Fountain Inn, Moonville would be surrounding areas I'd be concerned about, as well as Princeton. Right now, this line is now pushing east. We're getting data every 30 seconds here. So Belton Honeypath looking for debris. Griffin and I he's scanning this in half right here. So looking for any kind of telltale sign that would indicate to us that debris is being lofted into the atmosphere. But right there is where that rotation lies. Very clearly, you got a big punch of this storm moving south of Belton right here. And at the same time, you've got this warning on the backside where the winds are going away from our radar, which sits just north of there on I-85. So pushing through Belton Honeypath, Highway 247, pushing toward 25 very quickly. Surveying this, we got 54+ mile/hour winds in this area, and then you got that rotation on the backside of it. So these areas are the concern right now in Anderson, Lawrence, Greenville County. So 50+ miles/hour in this area, and this is the part that's kind of extending out ahead of it. So new data coming in as we get a fresh look at it. So Belton toward Highway 178 down toward Honeypath. So watching that very closely for you folks in and around Anderson and Abbeville County, right there on the line, and getting in closer here. This would be there. That possible tornado would be on the ground near Hamby Road, Brick Mill Road, Gilkison Road, right here across Anderson County, pushing into Lawrence, Abbeville, southern Greenville County. Certainly a possibility as well in these areas. There's see Abercrombie Road, there's Taylor Road, Friendship Church Road, and then Todd Road would be next in the path of this. So please get on the phone and tell folks in the path of this that this is coming. If you're watching right now in these areas on 25, where 25 meets 176 right here through Princeton, you need to be getting to a safe spot right now, as this area is under a tornado warning. We have seen some rotation in the atmosphere that tells us that this is a concern right here, as this area is punching out ahead of it. Now, this area is kind of lagging behind, so what this creates here is the possibility of some rotation in this. Watching that very closely. So if you're just now tuning in, maybe the sirens have made you wake up, your phone going off. We've got a tornado warning that was issued, and now it expires at 2:15. So Belton Honeypath, you're right there in the thick of it right here. After that, it'll be Princeton, and then going into Ware Shoals, surrounding areas. Griffin, watching this very closely. This warning was prompted by that area extending out ahead of it. We're going to watch that closely here as this extends into Lawrence County and surrounding areas.
Yeah, that's right, Chris. The immediate concern right now for folks in the eastern part of Anderson County. If you're watching us in downtown Anderson, the good news is the most dangerous part of this storm is past you. And is soon going to be moving into right at that quad point between Anderson, southern Greenville, Lawrence, and northern Abbeville counties. You've got this point right here. That's that point where we're coming in on all 4 counties coming together. And the most dangerous part of the storm is just north of Honeypath right now. And just want to stress this. We've seen the rotation be pretty strong at times. We've seen the straight line winds be pretty strong at times. And we've talked about this earlier tonight. It really doesn't matter if it's straight line winds or rotating winds. It's still wind, and it's still something to take seriously. It's enough to knock down trees and knock down power lines, so you want to put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Specifically, if you're in this area near Ballard Road, near Princeton, near New Bethlehem Church Road, if any of these names sound familiar to you, this storm is coming in your general direction. So please seek shelter. Please get inside. If you're near Boyce Page Road, Latimer Mill Road, Ross Road, that crossroads between Highway 76 and Highway 25, that's where Princeton is. And again, the most dangerous part of the storm is coming up right there. You've got this big mass of just nasty weather that we've been watching really closely ever since this came in from Tennessee. It's come up and over the mountains now. You see all that heavy rain and lightning there in central Greenville County and western Spartanburg County. But the immediate concern right now is for this area here, in that, again, where Abbeville, Lawrence, Greenville, and Anderson counties all come together. That's where you've got some possible embedded rotation. So switching over to the velocity real quick, you do have some just really intense winds. You can make out pretty well here where that possible rotation is. It's a little noisy, but we're going to have to watch this area really closely, Chris. Again, that tornado warning continues until 2:15.
Yeah, and got a clear notch right there with that velocity data, and then a clear tell right here, Griffin. We've been watching this back through Anderson County, and the beauty with live Super Doppler 4 is we get that data so quickly that we're able to tell you exactly where it is without a delay. That's something you'll only get with us here at WYFF News 4, the power of live Super Doppler 4. So this warning goes until 2:15. Belton Honeypath, this area has kind of formed a life of its own and extended out ahead of it where this is wrapping in right here. So those of you seeing Greenville County at the top of your screen, maybe you opened up your phone here to the push alert that said a tornado warning for Greenville County. You're automatically assuming or thinking, hey, it's thundering and lightning. I've got a lot of rough weather outside my house. But the actual rotating part of this storm is in the extreme southern part of Greenville County, moreover, right over Anderson County, and it's going to graze Abbeville County near Belton and Honeypath. Then it's going to go into Lawrence County. So really a hop, skip, and a jump, like Griffin mentioned, kind of the quad point of all these counties combined here, and watching that very closely for you folks in northern Greenwood County as well. Going to get pretty close to you as well. But live Super Doppler 4 mapping out all the action that we have across the area, and it's kind of two threats. Overall, the arching threat here is for strong winds, period. That would be for southern Spartanburg, Lawrence, Greenwood, Abbeville, Anderson County, 60+ mile-per-hour winds here. But when you look closer at what the threat is within that warning box, you've got an active tornado warning where not only do you have 60+ mile-per-hour winds, but you also have the rotating part of this storm that's in here in Belton Honeypath. So there's Pelzer, I-85's right here. This area you can see is almost outrunning this side of it, and that's created this rotation in the atmosphere here where you see this little kink. And right here, this push would be where the possibility of that rotation would be, and you could get the possibility of a tornado to be on the ground in this area. So watching it closely, you know, it's the middle of the night. It's a work night. It's a school night. This is not ideal, folks. I get it. But you need to be taking this seriously. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Hey, take note of where you are in your house in relation to trees in your yard. That's something that's such a big deal this time of the year is we're getting into spring. The leaves are on the trees. Hopefully for those trees outside your home, they have leaves. That means it's a healthy tree. But nonetheless, you need to kind of know where those trees are in relation to what room you're in right now. Go to that other side of the house if you can. Just put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Again, Belton Honeypath right here. This overshooting area right here is the area of concern. Let's put a fresh storm track on this for you for Honeypath, Princeton, and surrounding areas right here in this warning box as we're watching this little notch right in here. This would be where the possible tornado would be, just north of Honeypath, and it's booking it toward the east. So Princeton, the Rare Shoals Dragway at 213, Hickory Tavern at 218, and then Barksdale at about 225. And watch this closely, fresh track coming in right here. That right there is where we would possibly see the potential of that rotation. And that's the concern right now, right, is if we get this tornado to be on the ground, it would be heading toward Princeton. Honeypath is where it's at right now, and then eventually Gray Court. So crossing into a couple of different counties. Right here, it's over Anderson right now, about to hop and skip into Greenville County for a brief period of time. Then it's back into Lawrence County. Also, northern Abbeville County. So that's why we kind of need all of you in this area with the potential of this rotation here to be in your safe place. Where is your safe place? If you're in a two-story home, you want to be on the bottom floor. You want as many walls between you and the outside as possible. We're scanning inside the storm, basically an inside look, an x-ray, so to speak, at where there could possibly be debris being detected in this. And no clear signs of that right now. This is kind of located right here where the storm is entering, and watching that closely as it's moving on through. Getting reports here, some power outages in Honeypath right now. The wind, the big story, is as one of our floor crew members here is telling us he lives in Honeypath. He's there safe. He's in a safe spot, able to report to us. But Ben reporting the wind just, wow, knocked out the power. He was watching us here on air, and boom, the power goes out. So thankfully, you're able to switch over to a mobile device on our WYFF4 mobile app or WYFF4.com. Great way to kind of see this in multiple different fashions if you lose that power, okay? So stay with us. We're going to get you through this. Belton Honeypath, this is where the storm is the strongest right here. as it's pushing off toward the east. A lot of cloud-to-ground lightning in this. Princeton, you're next up for this, and southern Greenville County, Moonville, Fountain Inn proper, really south of downtown Fountain Inn, but right there on the edge. 2:15 is when this warning expires. So we'll wait and see how this is looking at. Initially, that threat was quite wild, 80-mile-per-hour gusts possible in this, and this is kind of pushed off toward the east very quickly. So National Weather Service monitoring, as well as are we here using our own Doppler. Our Doppler up toward Piedmont, stretching down into this storm, gives us a really clear picture at where things are located, and we get that data to refresh every 30 seconds. That's powerful in a situation like that, Griffin. When we have these situations where seconds matter, streets matter, we're able to tell you exactly where it's located. And right now, Honeypath and Princeton appears to be the area we're most concerned about.
Yeah, absolutely, Chris. The Honeypath, I mean, you're getting just lit up with lightning strikes right now, and sad to hear that Ben lost power down there. But yeah, you see the lightning is really just kind of ramped up in intensity the last 10-15 minutes. That's not really a good sign that you want to see. Still need you to stay in shelter if you're in Princeton. I think that's the most immediate concern right now, is if you're in Princeton, if you live east down Highway 76 or near Highway 25, stay in your shelters. This storm has produced some signs of rotation, and even without the rotation, the winds are still extremely strong. I mean, we're clocking 50 to 60 mile-per-hour gusts easily with this particular storm. For everybody else who's just tuning in, let's do a quick reset for you. If you're watching in Greenville proper, you're watching in Spartanburg proper, yes, you're getting some pretty significant storms right now. Tons of heavy rain, tons of almost nonstop lightning strikes. But the most dangerous part of the storm is in far southern Greenville County, western Lawrence County, the northern tip of Abbeville County, and eastern Anderson County. If you're watching us in downtown Anderson, this most dangerous part of the storm is past you. So it's still coming down pretty hard there in downtown Anderson. But again, the most dangerous part of the storm, which could be producing some possible rotation, is right there coming down on Princeton. It's essentially in the eastern sections of Honeypath right now, or just east of Honeypath, but it's coming up on downtown Princeton. Zooming in even tighter for you, up towards Hickory Tavern. Let's see if we can get some street names to pop up here. If you are near Henderson Church Road, if you're near James Elledge Road, stay in shelter. If you hear any of these road names that we're calling out, it's a telltale sign you want to stay put, stay in a closet or a bathroom, because the storm is really kicking into high gear. Wasson Gin Road, Ridge Drive, Franklin Road, Buckingham Court, Highway 76, any of these places, stay in your shelters until we give you an all clear. So again, tornado warning continues for the next 4 or 5 minutes. We'll see. We'll wait to get an update from the National Weather Service on that. But even just looking at the reflectivity right there, you see that little kind of hook feature. That's a classic hook echo that we often see with radar signatures like that. Chris is highlighting it there for you there.
Yeah, it's surrounded by a lot of lighting, and I mean, this is one, it's dark out. Two, this is rain wraps. It's not like it's out west to where you're going to be able to kind of see these clearly. This is a dangerous situation, and still getting that marker to kind of show us where that hook is. Still getting those competing winds. Anytime you see the red and the green meeting, that's winds in opposing directions. The green is going toward our radar site. The red is going away. So we're able to kind of see this and know that this cell is rotating over Princeton. And again, it's kind of over these county areas. You got basically 4 different counties in this area, like Griffin mentioned, the kind of the quad area right here, where you got from Anderson to Greenville to Lawrence County to Abbeville right in here. So watching it. So Princeton, brand new track on it here for you from Storm Tracker. 212 Princeton, Hickory Tavern at 218, and if it were to continue on its same path, it'd be near the Hickory Tavern School at 218, Barksdale at about 226. So mapping that out for you. The rest of us dealing with sideways rain and the wind. Like we've been trying to stress to you all night, it doesn't matter if the wind damage comes to you in the form of a straight line wind or in a rotating fashion. Wind damage is wind damage, and we've got some winds that are just absolutely booking it out there today. So this is the primary concern with the rotation and the possibility of a tornado on the ground very close to Highway 25. You see that little notch right in here. This is where it's extending out. There's Highway 25. There's Hickory Tavern. So in this area here, as we approach Lawrence County, certainly in the thick of it here, as you exit Greenville County, cross 25, that's actually right there where we're seeing the worst rotation here. And we'll get a new scan from Live Super Doppler 4 in just a moment. But yeah, southern Greenville County, you got Lawrence County right here. here, you got Abbeville and Anderson County right in here. So right in those 4 areas, right there in the thick of it, is it's right along Highway 25 and moving toward the east at about 55 miles per hour. So Hickory Tavern, you're next in the line of this as it's crossing now into Lawrence County proper. There's 252, there's Gray Court, and this warning box is right in here. And this is all part of a bigger line of storms that's rolling through the area right now, producing strong winds that could be in excess of 60 miles per hour. So Spartanburg, Greenville, Lawrence, Greenwood, and Abbeville counties certainly under a severe thunderstorm warning right now. And this leading edge is kind of the concerning part of it. Now, we're going to continue to see rain and hear the thunder through the overnight hours, but I want you to know that once this initial line moves through, though we'll be watching it closely, this is kind of the most volatile time. So the time frame for anything severe would be kind of right in now for Hart County, Elbert County, Abbeville to Greenwood to Lawrence into Union into Cherokee County. Spartanburg's getting a lot of lightning right now. But the concerning part lies right now for at least the time being over Lawrence County, where this possible rotating thunderstorm has been located. It's been booking. I mean, folks, when we started getting on the air with you, it was over downtown Anderson, moved over toward Belton, then moved into Honeypath, then into Princeton, crossed about 4 counties in the past 22 minutes or so. So watching this closely, tornado warning set to expire at 2:15. So we're about 30-45 seconds away from that. Still some degree of an indication here that there's at least this part of the line trying to extend out of it, where this part's trying to go that way. Not as tight of a rotation, which is certainly an improving sign for us that this is consolidating into more of a straight line wind event. Again, don't let your guard down on that. Just because it's straight line winds doesn't make it any weaker. 60, 70 mile per hour winds, certainly not out of the question of some of these cells, and the lightning coming down one after another after another. And good news here, getting great news that the tornado warning has been allowed to expire on time, which is at 2:15. We'll pull out, give you kind of a perspective on what's happening right now across the area. A severe thunderstorm warning remains for Greenville County, Spartanburg County, Lawrence, into northern Greenwood County, into Abbeville County. I'd expect another one of these to be drawn very shortly, which will probably cover these areas here where the strongest wind is located east. That would include probably uptown Greenwood through Lawrence, Clinton, Joanna, into Union, southern Spartanburg County, and Cherokee County. You're kind of the last to see this initial part of the line move on through. Beyond it, certainly rumbles of thunder and rain into early tomorrow morning, but for the most part, things will be simmering down the rest of the night. Anderson to Abbeville, you've still got some heavy rain and lots of lightning here, and that's where we've seen one lightning strike after another. We're talking extremely electrical storms. So, hey, I know you got woken up probably by the sirens, or your phone going off with tornado warnings. I can tell you the tornado warning has been dropped. Our eyes are peeled. Live Super Doppler 4 gives us new data. Get this every 30 seconds. Okay, so we're able to see where anything could possibly be rotating and give you that instant look at where it is. So you have our commitment that as conditions warrant throughout the overnight hours, we're going to have our eyes peeled on it. And regardless, we're going to give you an update at the top of every hour. So Perella Lewis is in. She's working on things right now as well. So 3 a.m. she's going to be right there with you, walking you through the rest of this night, because we know that when tornado warnings go out and those sirens go off, you can be a little bit concerned about what's happening here. We're going to walk you through it and let you know that everything's going to be all right as we walk you through the rest of the night here. Lots of lightning, strong winds, but right now the tornado warning has been canceled. Griffin, looks like that severe thunderstorm warning's the remaining one, 60+ mile per hour winds. So we'll be right back with you as conditions warrant. Until then, we'll see you at 3 a.m.